Hey team, Sammer here, Unsportsmanlike Conduct. Today I wanted to talk about a particular NBA player. I wanted to talk about James Harden. So, ever since James Harden was traded to the Sixers and started playing, all the narratives have been about James Harden and the Sixers winning the NBA title this year. And at first I was like, yeah, I believe it. I mean, they look great together. You got a guard and you got a big. And some people were comparing them to Shaq and Kobe, which, I mean, I can kind of see, but Shaq and Kobe are Shaq and Kobe. And I kind of started getting swept up into it, and then I started remembering James Harden doesn't play well in the playoffs. So where is this? Did we just forget about what happened? I mean, he was with Houston for 8 seasons. And James Harden led his team for those 8 seasons to the playoffs. Without him, they didn't stand a chance of making it to the playoffs. But once they got there to the playoffs, it kind of fell apart. You know, the refs swallow their whistle, so they don't call as many fouls. But on top of that, he just misses shots. He loses his clutchness, if you may. He misses big shots. He seems like he regresses into like his shell, like a turtle or something. Turtle Harden. But yeah, he doesn't play the same at all, and it doesn't make any sense. But that's how his career has been, unfortunately. So not to say that they're a lock, they're a shoo-in to win, kind of baffles me, because it's like we forgot about the past. It's just recency bias. Yeah, they're playing well right now. They beat the Knicks twice. They beat the Cavs, and so it's like, okay, great. They've beaten other teams, but can they beat the Bucks in a 7-game series? The Heat, the Bulls, and then on the West, whoever comes out, can they beat the Suns? Can they beat the Warriors? I don't know. I mean, all throughout Harden's career with Houston, Daryl Morey has surrounded him with what he wanted. He had Dwight Howard before Dwight Howard started regressing. Dwight Howard was still the Dwight Howard we used to know when he went to Houston. That didn't work out. They got Chris Paul. They were going to the Western Conference. They were in the Western Conference Finals. They were going to the finals had Chris Paul not gotten injured. So James Harden fell apart in that series too. Then they got Russell Westbrook, and that just flopped completely, because Russell Westbrook, as we're seeing this year, he's not a winning basketball player, unfortunately. I mean, he is excellent to watch. He's a lot of fun. I think he would have been great in New York to sell tickets, so they should have traded him to New York, but I'm getting off topic here. James Harden can be a leader at some points. There was that game the other day they played against New York, where Tyrese Maxey had like 4 points or 5 points at the end of the second quarter. James Harden went up to him and said, "Hey man, you gonna play today?" And he ended up with like 20-something points. He started balling. And then last night they played against the Cavs, and he had 33 points. Tyrese Maxey was shooting 67% from the field. Insanity. So yes, I admittedly thought that Harden was not a good leader. But leaders come in all different shapes and sizes. They don't all have to look like LeBron or one specific type of person. They can lead in many different ways. So I thought James Harden might not be a good leader, but maybe he can be given the certain circumstances. But I mean, if he doesn't want to be there, he doesn't want to be there. He doesn't want to lead. That's what happened in Brooklyn. That's what happened in Houston. Now, I do believe he didn't care to go to Brooklyn so when he was leaving Houston, I don't think he cared to go to Brooklyn. He just wanted to get out of Houston. I believe he wanted to go to Philly in the first place. But the Rockets owner was not going to make a trade with his former GM. That wouldn't make sense. So he wasn't going to do that. But he ended up finding his way there through a stop in Brooklyn. The point I'm getting at is, don't forget James Harden's career and how he's performed in the playoffs. But just because he hasn't done it before doesn't mean he can't do it now. But I'm saying don't jump to conclusions. Take a step back and remember who he is as a player. But I hope they win. They're a great team to watch. They're a lot of fun. But just take a beat. Let's just take us one step at a time here, instead of crowning them kings already. Take a step. We'll see where it goes. I'm excited to see how the rest of the season plays out. See y'all next time.